Hey everyone, Kyle once again. Welcome back to another movie review. And now the next film I'm reviewing is another film that I grew up loving. Um and it's another Walt Disney film. And this time I'm gonna be reviewing about Air Bud. Air Bud was a film that came out in August 1997, and this is a film I always grew up loving. And I think it's a really great uh great dog film though, but another very good family film as well. So Air Bud, I feel like the film came out in 1997, and it was directed by Charles Martin Smith, and Charles Martin Smith is an actor and a director though, and as an actor you mostly remember him that he appeared in The Untouchables as Agent Wallace. It was with Sean Connery, Kevin Costner, and Andy Garcia. And he also starred in John Carpenter's Starman, and he also played the character Graves in Peter Benchley's The Beast, the miniseries about the giant squid. And I like him as an actor as well. He was good in those films and that miniseries as well. Then as a director, he directed films before Air Bud though, but he directed this film. Then after in 2011 he directed Dolphin Tale, and then this year he also directed the sequel, Dolphin Tale 2. And I like both Dolphin Tale films, and he did a good job directing. And he also did a good job of directing this film. So when the film came out, it got mixed reviews. Has a 43% Rotten Tomatoes, and it has a 5.0 on IMDb. Which I think is just way too low. I think it deserves more to be higher. Um, and then also, but it came when it opened up. It had like an open. Forget what opening it had over the weekend, but overall made $23 million on a budget of $3 million. So it did very well at the box office. On a low budget of $3 million, but made $23 million, so it did really good. And since then, the popularity of the film has spawned sequels and then a spin-off series. The second film, Air Bud Golden Receiver, that sequel was the only sequel to get released in theaters, a theoretical release. And then the rest of the sequels were direct-to-DVD films. And then came in the spin-off series of Air Buddies, which featured the puppies. And then also two Santa Paws films, which I've never seen any of the spin-offs films, which I was never interested in them. I was never interested in the Air Buddies films. I wasn't interested just about Buddy. Um, which in each of the films he's been in, he played different sport. This first film he played basketball. The second one, Golden Receiver, he plays football. In the third film, World Cup, he plays soccer. Then, Seventh Inning Fetch, he plays baseball. Then the last one he played Spikes Back, he plays volleyball. But the first one I always love the best. And getting into the story that Air Buddy, which really enough is, if a lot of people probably know though, but I'll just say it anyway. That the golden retriever playing Buddy is actually played by the dog who played Comet in Full House. Really enough. Of course, at the time when I saw this, of course, I did not know about that. But later on, of course, I found out, I was like, oh wow, that's the dog from Full House, who plays Buddy. Okay, I thought that was kind of cool. Comet from Full House, nice. So, but in the opening of the film, in the town of Fernfield, that he 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 has a very mean owner, Norm Snively, played by Michael Jeter. Michael Jeter from, like I said before, Dale from The Green Mile, and Udesky from Jurassic Park 3. Which I said I like Michael Jeter. It's too bad he's no longer with us. But he plays Norm Snively, he's very mean owner. He's a clown, and which when they get to a house for a birthday party, he shows them a roll of newspaper because indicating that he hits him with this. He says, don't make me use this. And so they go to do this birthday party, and uh, Michael Jeter as Snively he performs very badly, But when he brings in the dog, the kids start laughing, which of course that they like him more than him. But then it turns into another disaster when he throws a ball and he try to make him put his arms make it like a hoop, and shoot it through. And ends up hitting him in the face and chases him, ruins the whole party, And now he's had enough of him. He's now going to for him to take him to the pound. And he's, I hate being a clown, Which, if you hate being a clown, why is your job a clown anyway, But so he's on his way to the pound, They're going driving up a hill, and of course dumb Snively leaves the back of the truck open, and Buddy falls out, still in the cage. A truck misses him, but then another car hits him, and he's out of the cage, and that's the Fram family. And you see these then, which the son, Josh Fram, played by Kevin Zegers, which Kevin Zegers has been in films. He was in. You mostly know that he was in Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead as the young security guard Terry, So yeah, he was he was in Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead, and he was also in I think it was the Mortal Instruments, the City of Bones. And he's been in a few other films as well, but I mostly remember him from playing as Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead, which my brother is like, really? That was him, in Dawn of the Dead, But he also appears in the sequels as well, as the same character. But Josh sees him on the side of the road, but they just driving on, they move to a new house, in Fernfield because, it's been a year because Josh's father died, because he was a pilot and he died in a plane crash, and he's going through a hard time, And so that's why they decided to move to Fernfield, and apply him for school, has trouble fitting in, of course, typical thing when a new kid goes to school has trouble fitting in, But he likes playing basketball, and one day on his way home, he sees this old abandoned church, There's like a court out back, so there's a play there, and that's where he finds a buddy. He's been hiding there, First time he tries to pet him, but he goes back in. But the second time as he goes back there, he lures it with more vanilla puddings, and so shoots a few hoops, and he like holds the ball, moves it around, seeing that Buddy follows the ball, he likes playing with the basketball, So they have a little playtime with them. With Buddy, and finally he takes him home to his house, gives him all cleaned up, but as he goes downstairs about to tell his mom, and Buddy hits the basketball and it makes a mess of the entire living room. Paint flies everywhere, boxes, and he gets poured on with paste, But his mom at first doesn't want to keep him, but Josh makes an agreement that keep him until Christmas, Then, of course, hold on to him until Christmas, and Buddy has, and also throughout the film, Buddy has this running gag where Buddy takes the morning newspaper away from the mom. She doesn't know where the newspapers are. Because everyone's getting newspapers but her. Which really enough that Buddy is just taking the papers away from her. And and back at school, Josh, he's been, trying to. Well, first he doesn't try out for the team though, but he's doing stuff, like doing laundry for the team players, and one of the team players, Larry, which is played by Brendan Fletcher, that's the last name is pronounced, which he was in Freddy vs. Jason, and he also appeared in the Goosebumps episode of The Werewolf of Fever Swamp, He plays as one of the team players of the basketball team, the Timberwolves, and of course, Philip calls him the Water Boy, and when Josh is downstairs, the basement, doing laundry, he sees the office where this old maintenance guy, does the maintenance around the school, He's in his office and he sees like an old pendant for the New York Knicks, and an old jersey, which the maintenance guy is played by Bill Cobbs, which yes, he had small roles in other films, but he also appeared in the Ninth Museum as one of the old security guards. But he also appeared in the sequel, and I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. But he had small roles, But I do like this guy, Bill Cobbs. He does a good job. Of course, in the film, he plays as an old as a guy who used to be a basketball player for the New York Knicks by the name of Arthur Chaney. But when Josh, sort of recognizes him because gives him one of the basketball cards of him as a younger, basketball player of him, and he gives it back he wants him to sign it, but he said, "That's not me, This guy is dead, But of course, we know, but he's really Arthur Chaney, because later, which I'll get to, see, we get to shows clips of we get scenes like where Josh is cleaning out the back of that court field, puts paint on there, making into a court, There with the nose that there's a couple of people who left out for the basketball team, so there's like some left to try for basketball tryouts. The coaches left him, and first Josh wasn't concerned, Well, before that though, from the time Christmas comes, Mrs. Fram decides for the family to keep Buddy, as a Christmas gift, And then it's when later where Josh is not sure to try out for the basketball or not though, and he goes and throws the basketball, and Buddy, of course, hits the ball into the hoop, and Josh is like, no way, and he does it again, same thing, and then it shows him Buddy hitting more hoops, but then this when Josh decides to try out for the team, and he does make the team. And then the first night where he's the basketball for the opening of the basketball game, Buddy, first he doesn't know that they're not at the house, so he somehow, which follows him all the way to the school, and as when Josh is on the field, Buddy, which is funny, Buddy runs into the basketball court, getting the basketball, making a mess of the place, But the bumbling referees run into it one another. The other players try to grab him, and everybody in the stands is like laughing, Thing is very funny, And when Josh has the ball and he says no, Buddy hits the ball into the hoop, and everyone's like, wow, and everyone starts clapping, and everybody's like, very pleased, the principal's Link's very happy about that. But then Buddy runs upstairs back to the basketball court, and everybody, of course, everyone follows him, and they see that the coach is like well, he's because one of the players that becomes Josh's friend named Tom. He, earlier the coach got mad at him for dropping the ball, and he says, "I'm not gonna let you drop the ball again," you know. So he starts very meanly throwing balls at him, you know, and he's like, he can't take it anymore, you know. He's like kind of like getting abused by that, you know. And the principal later he fires him, you know. So Josh makes a suggestion to have Arthur Chaney, you know, to come in as a basketball coach, you know. Starts out by throwing like imagining an imaginary basketball, you know, practicing throwing it to one another, you know. And the Larry thinks this is ridiculous, you know, but when during the next game, you know, Larry gets kicked off the team, and then they make Buddy like their mascot, you know, like during the halftime, have him shoot one of the balls in the hoop, you know, on the spotlight. And towards the end of the game, you know, when Josh has an opportunity to shoot a three-pointer, but he misses, and they end up losing though. And the next day, you know, Bill Cobbs talking to Josh, you know, saying it's not so easy being under pressure, you know. And tells him that Buddy, you know, he doesn't care about his point average, you know. Tells Josh that to play from the heart, you know. But then the Timberwolves are back on track, and they start winning game after game. And then it comes, you know, back to Norm Snively, Michael Jeter, which which that was the problem, like he has like as the lead in this, you know. But he only appears at the beginning of the film, then up to the hour, the 1 hour point, then you see him again, you know. So you don't see him again till when it comes up to the first hour, you know. Because he's at his home, and he sees on TV, you know, that's about a golden retriever that could shoot hoops, and once how the technique how the dog is hitting the ball, he knows that realizes it's his dog, you know, and he wants it back, you know. Which I'm like, if you hate the dog so much, why do you want him back, you know? Because you were gonna put him in the pound, you know, and why would you want him back, you know? But so he goes to visit Josh's mom, who finds the buried newspapers, you know, in the backyard, and he shows her that the papers that proves he has legal custody over him, you know. So he takes Buddy away, you know, and it makes Josh very upset, and well, later at the school, you know, he gets an envelope. He gets the signed card by Arthur Chaney, which he now knows that was really Arthur Chaney that this coach tells him, because he on the signed card said "play from the heart," you know, what he told him before, you know. And he goes to Snively's. Sorry, looking out my window. It's just pouring rain down here, you know. Yeah, it's been about this all day, you know. But I'm not gonna let bad weather stop me from doing my reviews, though. But anyway, that he goes to Snively's place, you know. Goes and sneaks into his backyard, and while Snively's on the phone, you know, they get tries to unhook off the leash, you know, and Snively Norm sees them, you know, and they pull the back faucet, and it gets sprayed, you know, off of he gets sprayed, you know, and he gets really wet and muddy, you know. And of course, it gets to me and my brother's favorite scene. Of course, probably a favorite scene for everybody who's seen this film, you know. And me and my brother just laugh every single time, you know. Of course, when Snively gets to his truck starts falling apart, you know. First the door, you know. He gets into his truck and thinks he's got in reverse. He actually goes forward, you know, breaks the fence, you know. Then he loses the bumper. they get the chase they get chased, and the hood gets stuck up, and then it loses a pipe, and you see he sees a car in front of him, he hits the brakes, and the brakes just fall apart as well. This, the scene was freaking hilarious, And then when he's just on the boat, Norm tries to turn, and then he loses the steering wheel, which that's when I laughed hysterically. As soon as he loses he loses the steering wheel, I just laughed hysterically. That was just really hilarious, And then of course the dumb thing is though, of course he has no steering wheel and he's heading he's heading straight right into the river. And he has no door, why doesn't he just jump out of the truck, Instead of just going down with his truck and falling into the river, he's just sitting there screaming like this, ah, Why doesn't he just jump out of the truck, Because he has no door, so on his side. So why doesn't he just jump out? But no, but he stays inside the truck and falls right into the river. But that whole scene was so fun, was very funny, That's still the best for me, the best scene in the film. So, and I know my brother still calls it the best scene in the film. So that's what we both agree on, So they're on the boat. They go to this place, and Joshua wants to let him go, doesn't want him anymore. So he as the distraction throws his ball away, but he runs towards the boat, and he's upset over that though. But back at the basketball game, which is the finals, the state finals, of course their team is losing. Also Larry's been switched to a new basketball team that they're playing against, and so Josh's team, they start losing, and then this when a buddy comes running back into the gym, and they're all very happy to see him, and that's when they decided to put him on the team, And the scene where the referees and the coaches are talking, the Bill Cobbs is telling you check your rule book. There says there's no rule a dog can play basketball, and the referees agree, like he's right. There ain't no rules as a dog can't play basketball, And he's telling the coach and the father of Larry, he's like, "What's the matter, gentlemen? You afraid your team's gonna get beat by a dog?" And they both like put him in, So, and as soon as buddies on the team, when they start hitting points, they're starting to come back, and of course when Buddy tries to get the ball from one of the from the other opponent's team, and the referee grabs the ball and it's full slob, because the coach said to him earlier, like, does he dribble? No, but he might drool a little bit, because he has slobber all over the ball on his hands, and so they're scoring more and more points, they're coming back, and it's almost it's a 3-point gap, and Josh has the has the ball, and he's just trying to make the same mistake the last time. He looks at Buddy, remembering what Arthur Chaney said to him earlier, and of course he does make the 3-point shot, and the team wins. And then Larry comes up, calls him Water Boy again, but instead he tells him, saying, "Nice shot," Then Snively comes and tells him he wants his dog back, So, but Miss Fran said that says no, and it says, "You have any choice? I got papers," which is they're all wet and ruined, Which, why would you carry your papers with them, Shouldn't you just leave them in the house, But he goes and sues them, taking them to the court for custody for Buddy, And he comes in wearing the clown uniform, And the judge, which is played by Eric Christmas, which he's been probably he played the principal in Porky's, and in the sequels, and he was also in Mouse Hunt, as Nathan Lane and Lee Evans' lawyer, and he plays he plays as the judge in this. So they're discussing back and forth, but and each time when like when the judge hits the gavel, but Buddy barks, and then Arthur Chaney comes in and says you know comes in, and when the judge asks him who he is, and he says his name, and he's like, this is also another funny line as well, like it's like, Arthur Chaney, New York Knicks, 56. I was at that Celtics game when you did the turn around jump with the buster. I spilled beer all over my wife. to get a chuckle out of that. But Chaney makes the suggestion, since Buddy, since he's practically an adult, so they say, so he gives the idea to make him decide, let him decide who he wants to be with, So the judge agrees, so they take this outside the courthouse, so Josh is on one point, one side, and Snively's on the other, and judge is making the rules, Gentlemen, stay on your spots. If you take one single step towards that dog, you lose, So they begin calling. So it says begin calling the dog, So Norm and Josh, they start calling to Buddy back and forth, and Buddy's looking, he's looking on both sides, First he starts to go towards Josh, and then Norm takes out a roll of newspaper, saying, "Look what Daddy's got for you," And he starts to come over there, but Buddy remembers that what Norm does to him with that newspaper, says, "Get over here, So Buddy takes that newspaper and rips it up, and just runs towards Josh, and so the judge gives with a power investment, I wore the custody of the dog to Josh Fram. Case closed, and then Norm's like, "You can't do this. The dog is my dog," And then the judge says, "Will somebody suppress that clown?" As Norm starts running towards him, he gets grabbed by the cops and he gets taken away. They carry him away, And then everyone gathers around. Everybody's happy, and I also like that this ends with the score that plays throughout the film. Like when Josh and Buddy were playing together. That score by where does it say the music by? Give me a second. Bram Winner. I think that's the name of the guy who did the score. I did like the score. Was it How to Go? I'm doing a terrible job though, but if you know the score, that's that score that I always enjoyed, So then that's practically it, So they win custody. Norm gets taken away, carried away basically, and everyone celebrates, So I always enjoyed Air Bud. This was a good family film that I grew up watching. The cast did a good job, but Kevin Zegers, he did a good job. The Wendy Makkena who played his mom was good. Especially Michael Jeter. Michael Jeter was funny. He did a good job, So, but even though he was cast he was like the lead, it's like the first name comes up in the cast, He only appears at the beginning of the film, but you see him again an hour later, Yeah, that's a nitpick though, but still, Michael Jeter did a good job. And Bill Cobbs as Arthur Chaney, he did good as well. Other cast members were good. Eric Christmas, as the judge, I thought that funny line that he said about Arthur Chaney, he was funny, Charles Martin Smith did a good job directing. This film is on 98 minutes, but it went at a good pace. You know, it wasn't slow. Um, I like the score as well. What is it by Winger? Or how the last name's pronounced? It was that was a very good score. I like the score. Of course, Buddy. That's his name, Buddy. He had the best of the Buddy. He did a good job, you know. And I think in the next sequel that was the last one we did because was that he had like arthritis in his legs or something like that, and sadly had to be put down. Had to be put down, you know. So that's real sad, you know. That's the dog from Full House, the big star as an Air Bud, you know. He was really good, really lovable, you know, lovable golden retriever. And too bad this dog's has now passed on, you know. He was really good. And this in the second film that was dedicated in his memory. So when I will do next time I will do a review of the sequel, which is the only film I have, you know. Because the sequels, I was not the biggest fan though. Although the one I pretty much liked the most was where he plays baseball, the seventh inning fetch, you know. I think that one was a decent sequel as well, you know. By putting in order, I would say the first film, then I would say the second film, then the fourth film, then the fifth film, then the third film, you know. But that's my opinion, you know. So I enjoy the first Air Bud. The first Air Bud is always the best film. It did perform, the low ratings it has, you know, on Rotten Tomatoes 90B deserves to be higher. It's way too low for this film. For a $3 million budget film, did perform well at the box office, and like I said, Charles Martin Smith did a really good job directing. Like he did for Dolphin Tale 1 and 2, you know, he did a good job directing. So yeah, then on the back here of the review by Newsday Kids Day, a heartwarming family comedy that will make you feel good. I do feel good about this film. I do agree with that. Or on the front here by KNX CBS Radio, Irresistible. I would agree, you know. Nothing much for features, just shows the original trailer. And of course, but you know, falls into the category of other famous dogs that's been on the film, you know, like with Beethoven, you know, or Lassie, you know. You know, the category of those famous dogs have been in films, you know. So like America's favorite golden retriever, or for Beethoven, America's favorite Saint Bernard, you know. But I enjoy the film overall. I always love Air Bud. First one was always the best, so that's my review for Air Bud. Thanks for watching. Take care and stay tuned for the next movie review, and maybe next time I will get to review the sequel or other things though. But I will review the sequel though. But for the film, this is the first film. Thanks for watching and take care. And we'll see you later. Bye bye.